Is Plankton rich? The show and everyone in the series loves to point out how Plankton never has any customers.
There's no one here.
Don't remind me. Do you know when the last time I had a customer was?
And one of his goals is to steal the Krabby Patty secret formula so he can have a successful restaurant. So you assume, based off the fact that he's a restaurant owner with no customers, that he's broke. If that's the case, then where does he get all the money for his various inventions? Over the years, Plankton has employed the use of various robots and gadgets in his attempt to steal the Krabby Patty secret formula, from mind control devices to various robots, to even military weapons. Buying this stuff is going to cost a small fortune, to say the least. A modern tank costs anywhere from $500,000 to upwards of $5 million. You have to be someone like Elon Musk to not be completely bankrupt after buying one. You could say he invented them to avoid paying those costs, but even then, that math doesn't add up. In the Sponge on the Run movie, he's able to MacGyver together a time machine, showing that he can use even the most rudimentary of tools and turn them into something incredible. But the rest of his inventions don't have that thrown together look to them. All the robots he makes look polished and brand new, like they just came off the factory assembly line. It's always implied that he's making these robots himself, so where does he get the money for the raw materials for them, if he's not just using garbage that was lying around somewhere? The best metal to use when building these kinds of machines would be steel and aluminum, and even though they're not as expensive as gold, when you're building things like this, or this, and let's not forget this, things start to add up. Just the frame on this bad boy alone is going to set you back a pretty penny. Then you have to factor in the cost of powering this thing, which is going to put you back even more, because you're not just turning it on, but powering all of its wild and crazy movements. And let's not forget, this is all being done underwater. All of Plankton's equipment has to be specially coded and designed to be 100% waterproof, not just water resistant, and to be able to withstand the pressure of operating at those depths. That's going to cost even more money. Look at Sandy, a fellow inventor slash scientist. She makes wacky inventions and scientific things all the time, but she's not using her money. We know she's using the funding of some rich bureaucrats, which proves that money would be needed in order for Plankton to do what he's doing. I can already see the comments, but Plankton is trying to steal the formula so he can become rich, and that's not true. The only reason Plankton wants the formula is so he can crush Mr. Krabs. Being a successful restaurateur would just be a decent side effect. It's not even his main goal, which is the domination of Bikini Bottom or the world. And even then, stealing the Krabby Patty formula wouldn't give him the money he'd need in order to take over Bikini Bottom. Sure, Mr. Krabs makes a lot of money running the Krusty Krabs, but there are people that are way richer than him, as shown when someone is able to buy the Krusty Krab outright in this episode.
Do we still get the money?
Of course.
That'll be fine then. Here you go. Now, gimme.
Even people like Squilliam are implied to have more money than Mr. Krabs, as he considers the Krusty Krab to be a dump. So if you have all these people with more money than Krabs, wouldn't it make sense that Plankton has more money than him? Or at the very least, is rich on his own right? What if Plankton originally sought out to become richer than Krabs, because he knows how much money means to him? So he goes to college for machine creation or whatever, and since he's a genius, he's able to excel at that, and sells his creations to the highest bidder, and makes a ton of money off of that. But Mr. Krabs doesn't care, because it's not about how much money someone else has that matters, more so how much he himself can make. So Plankton now has a new goal, to completely crush Mr. Krabs by stealing his formula and ruining the unique Krusty Krab experience, and he's going to use the riches he's made over the years to do so. It would give a good reason as to why he's waiting to take over Bikini Bottom when he effectively has all the tools he needs and could just create a robot army to do it for him. I mean, even Squidward's modified house was a threat that destroyed the city, and Plankton has multiple robots just like that at his disposal. The show creators themselves are aware of his secret riches, as they created this video analyzing his debt on the official SpongeBob YouTube channel. Any way you slice it, Plankton has money. Whether he's a millionaire or a billionaire doesn't matter. What matters is that he's the living embodiment that money can buy a lot, but it just can't buy you happiness.